First, we are broadening the scope of Canada's anti-money laundering and terrorist financing rules so that they cover crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use. These changes cover all forms of transactions, including digital assets, such as cryptocurrencies. The illegal blockades have highlighted the fact that crowdfunding platforms and some of the payment service providers they use are not fully captured under the Proceeds of Crime and Terrorist Financing Act. Our banks and financial institutions are already obligated to report to the Financial Transactions and Reports Analysis Centre of Canada, or FINTRAC. As of today, all crowdfunding platforms and the payment service providers they use must register with FINTRAC, and they must report large and suspicious transactions to FINTRAC. This will help mitigate the risk that these platforms receive illicit funds.
Yeah, so this was a scary speech, guys. Very interesting. So hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. I hope that the microphone is good this way. You guys were complaining about some echo right now in a different apartment, a little different place. I've set everything up again, the camera. I hope it all sounds well. Let me know down below and make sure you press that like button. As I've been digging for a little bit, guys, and I've been trying to basically solve or uncover the majority of the strange information that goes around here. However, everybody on the interwebs is just, I guess, agreeing with me here that it's literally making no sense. Canada has imposed new restrictions on crypto payments linked to crowdfunding, Canada's finance minister has said. So straight away, it's not actually completely bad from the perspective that if they're just looking into crowdfunding, right, and there's a large, let's say $100,000 grant from some person, I would say it constitutes as something that is kind of suspicious. So I understand that it has to be monitored or registered somewhere. Don't get me wrong. It's about the implications of this. And it's also like a couple of others in different, I guess, Twitter posts have said, it's what comes after this. Think about it from this perspective. Right now, for example, if you're buying or if a large NFT of yours gets bought, what if eventually the whole idea of somebody buying your NFT is not going to be completely possible anymore because they have to first register to 7 different agencies and whatnot? It's going to make for pretty difficult stuff. Most importantly, what if the entity in Canada does not trust it, so all of a sudden you cannot receive the money for your NFT because the person sending you the money is not verified properly? Now, again, I see it from two sides. One is, yeah, they have a point. If they can't verify it's legit money, then, you know, maybe you shouldn't get it. And I see that. From the other side, I'm thinking, well, it's not your fault. You don't know who it is. So why would you not be able to receive the money then? You know, you sold something that you worked hard for potentially. So, and that's again the implication that I'm seeing. So a lot of guys over on Twitter were calling for this to be the best Bitcoin ad. Let me see again. There were quite a couple of people talking about the situation, and I kind of, I guess, lost track on exactly where it is. Yeah, my dumbass did not actually read here. This is one of the best Bitcoin ads ever created. And again, you can most likely see it in the comment section here as well. I hope that the video is not too laggy. However, I would say another point that's been brought to my attention and that I really kind of come back to every now and then is the fact that they really criticize and they call out for crypto to be this realm of the criminals. When in reality, if we actually look at the numbers, it's really still cash. Cash is really king. Now let's take a little bit of a look, right, at a couple of other things. Like, for example, this newest article about the SEC. Has the SEC wiped out DeFi lending model with the BlockFi penalty? There's, again, a new thought. This is over in the US, obviously, but there's a new thought that eventually the lending platforms, the way that we know it, are going to be regulated to the freaking death, so to speak. Why am I saying that? Well, because as it currently stands, Coinbase wanted to go for a lending product. They were subpoenaed by the SEC, could not do it. Ava is still out there. All these decentralized protocols specifically working with Ethereum are fine. Yet the first one now has already gone for a settlement. They went the not necessarily silly or you know, safe route. They went for the $100 million settlement route, which is definitely not an easy one to take, but it's one that's the most likely only way they saw an easy out, because again, it's the SEC, which again gives once more the respect to Ripple for actually fighting this one out. Now, the SEC may start targeting DeFi lending platforms moving forward. This is creating a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt because, again, it is something we should all fear a little bit. Why? Well, I literally, as I said in my video yesterday, I was digging into BlockFi to actually start working with them and using it for my own money, putting a lot of money into there. And all of a sudden, the same day, 3 hours later or so, I see the very big issue with the SEC between BlockFi and SEC. I'm thinking, wow, what if there was like a cease and desist, but there was a problem, and all of a sudden I lose a part of my money? I understand the SEC is not there for that reason, but what if there was, for example, a token connected to BlockFi that I was holding? I can think of a couple of platforms. I don't want to FUD them too much though, guys. But I can think of a couple of platforms where there's actually a token connected to it. No, we can easily say it. There's a lot of lending platforms, Crypto.com, Swissborg. They all have their own token attached to it. Hypothetically speaking, if they get the cease and desist, right, like BlockFi has gotten, I think it's game over for a little bit for the token. And it's a realistic chance that some of these guys are going to get some sort of system like this. Now, apparently, the SEC may start targeting DeFi lending platforms. Only accredited investors will likely be allowed, which again, for a lot of us is not going to be a problem. But in the US, you need to have either $1 million, $200,000 a year worth of salary or whatever, like compensation or whatever, or with your spouse or whatnot, $300,000. And there's, I think, another one. But at the end of the day, what a lot of you guys in the comment section have told me is if you want to, for example, invest to Ripple, the stock, that you can actually do that through a financial advisor if they give the approval to you or something. Oh, whoa, my days. Yeah, apparently the phone I'm recording with here got a little notification and I didn't put the sound off, so it started vibrating off of the little stand that I made for it. Guys, if you were to see my setup right now, you'd be ashamed, you know? It's thousands of dollars worth of equipment in the most ratchety way possible because I'm just here for a couple of days. I keep moving apartment, but it's very annoying if you have a big setup like this. So I wanted to say, BlockFi aims to register a new yield product. I was kind of confused about the whole article like that because from one glance they make it seem as if lending is going to be in a really big predicament and problem. On the other hand, it's like, well, we want to go for something new because apparently on February 14, BlockFi announced that it plans to register a new regulatory compliant lending product that would be the first in the crypto industry. So at the end of the day, this is just a block to or a big punch to DeFi in the US. Keynote: this is purely in the United States of America. This actually does not count for anywhere else except for potentially Canada, that's also working the fundamentals now to kind of get harsher towards crypto. But generally speaking, this is just the US, and it doesn't necessarily have to be all bad. It just depends. It's going to also get rid of a lot of scams, and we don't know exactly what they want to go for. We don't know exactly what the rules will be. We don't know. But my caveat, my counter argument to all of this, and the reason why it's so bad, is purely because if you're allowing this for accredited investors, is the same thing, and this is time and time again, they're allowing people who already have a lot of money to invest into these things, like a decentralized finance, for example. In the traditional financial system, if you have $20 million plus, for example, $10 million, $20 million plus, you can go to a lot of banks right now. Just walk up and say, hey, I'm a wealthy individual. I like to get some personal guidance for my money, basically. They'll roll on an entire paper of different options that they have for you to invest in and get a crazy yield. You know, a bank will do this for you. If you have a $10,000, they ain't going to help you. You know, get a savings account. You get minus interest. You know, you're going to have to pay me to keep it on here. Oh, you have 20 million. Oh, sir, what type of sushi do you want to have? Okay, let's think. You want 10%, 12%? What are you looking for? And that's, again, the difference that they're trying to get to with the DeFi right now. Oh, I should say with the, I guess I cannot call it DeFi, I guess, right? With just this crypto finance, I guess you should call it. They want to make sure that only people who already have money can get there. And it's partially to, of course, get it as less risky as possible, but also partially just really unfair to the lower sector, I guess, of people. Right now, if you have $10,000, you can put it into Anchor, for example, get yourself 20% a year on that money. And then all of a sudden you have to start out with $1 million for it. Yeah, that's the whole point. They want to get to that million. You know, they want to get passive income with no money right now. They don't want to have a big minimum or a big income to actually compensate for it or do. And that's the thing I'm thinking about right now. It's going to be a little bit of a difficult time as the regulations are coming in quite quickly. And if all these things need to be so registered like that, all of a sudden it's going to be the end of DeFi in the US for some platforms. Not all. There will always be DeFi. There will always be the anarchy type of DeFi with no rules, whatnot. But you know, a lot of the platforms that we know and love might get a little punch in the face. Having said that, guys, I want to briefly talk with you all about the crypto prices. So for right now, as it currently stands, Bitcoin, very interesting move. Right now, it's retesting its previous heights here at the $44.4 thousand mark. Very peculiar. However, as it currently stands, Bitcoin longs should be open. Why? Well, we got ourselves the reversal. Very, very nice bullish engulfing candle. And right now, regardless of what happens throughout the day, it's basically as good as confirmed because we have had such a big pump already. So as it currently stands, I'm personally wanting for it to close actually daily above 44.4 thousand, above this previous mark. But generally speaking, let me actually go towards this right here because we are lagging a little bit. Generally speaking here, it looks as if we're going to be going pretty damn juicy from here on forward. Again, not financial advice. This is just my own opinion, purely my own opinion. On the XRP chart, it looks as if we have also broken out. No confirmation just quite. This is the first breakout candle, but I already told you guys, it looks like a bullish pennant that has a higher likelihood to break out towards the top side. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Exactly as predicted yesterday and expected. For Bitcoin, it was a little bit unexpected, not gonna lie to you. Mostly because, again, we were forming a nice basis, but this candle, while we were talking about it yesterday, was still doing quite negative. And so we could not have expected it to all of a sudden get such a big spike at the end of the day and continue on with that pump. We can actually, for fun's sake, take a brief look at what the S&P is doing here. Let's actually go and auto that again. So the S&P over the last, I guess just yesterday and today, is also, today's not even open yet. Oh, never mind. I wanted to say at least yesterday evening, it's been pumping like crazy from about 11 on forward or so. We can actually see, because over the general day, the 14th, it was doing bad. Let's take a little bit of a look at how Bitcoin was doing yesterday at about, let's say 11 o'clock or so forward. Was it also pumping from that time? Let's see. Yeah. So the big pump, indeed, the big reversal, kind of came at, I guess, the 14th at the start already. Because it's funny, right? Over this entire day, the 14th, it's only though about here, I believe it's 6, I don't know if it's 6 or 6:30, whatever, because we're looking at so many different markets right now. Let's say about here is when the stock market opened. About here is where the stock market closed. Throughout this time period, Bitcoin has actually fallen. And it's only indeed in the last little time slot where the S&P was also trending upwards that Bitcoin was trending upwards. However, Bitcoin throughout the night just kind of kept up that momentum. And most likely the S&P is going to have a beautiful open again. And we kind of all wonder why. Is it because of advocates like what we saw in the BlockFi status and what we saw here, for example, in the, we need to know everything about you type of news? Or is it something else? Is it because of the Russia and everything that's kind of calming down? And all of a sudden, since there's not that much panic anymore, people are kind of calming back down and, going into the investing route? Could definitely be so. We can also quickly take a little bit of a look at just TradingView on its own to see how the, I want to say, the stocks we're looking for right now. If we quickly take a little bit of a look, I'm guessing +1, +2 or something like that. A pretty good day over on the end. At least +0.8 over on the stocks, I would have guessed. Let's quickly take a look at this if we can load. Okay, just took a little 1-second break. Yes, indeed, it did load. It's about +1.5, +2 on the NASDAQ. So indeed, these are looking good. And Bitcoin has kind of been following that along as well. So it's pretty, I'm going to say pretty juicy from this perspective on forward. Now, guys, if you want to also trade with levers, let me actually show you guys. All right, so what I'm about to show you guys is my own Bybit account. There's actually two that I have. One is the YouTube account, one is my personal. I'm going to show you guys the YouTube account where we basically do all the trades together. I want to say, if you actually want to trade on there, there's a link down below. Make sure you check out my tutorial videos first so you actually know what to do. Then again, don't trade irresponsibly, Make sure you understand what you're doing before you actually put money into these things. Because even though there's right now like a $4,100 bonus, which can definitely work out really well to get some extra money out of that, it is still something you have to kind of get into. Don't just dabble in, put all your money into it. Learn about it, get into it, and I personally enjoy it a lot, but it's different for everybody, so check it out. And having said that, let me quickly dive over into this one. What we have over here is the Bybit account, and we can see our Bitcoin trade right now. We put in $700, right? And right now we are in $1,100 worth of profit, or about 140%. We also had an XRP trade. You guys can see it perfectly. Let me actually put it in a little bit better. There we go. We had an XRP trade. We put in about $330 or 5,000 XRP with leverage because, again, it is times 10. And we are right now in $800 worth of profit, 240%. You clearly see it right there. We can actually showcase the XRP chart in here as well. It's a little bit laggy, but hey, it is what it is, right? I've noticed now, it actually has to do something with the internet connection as well here. I've noticed in my previous apartment that I was in, the internet is really bad, and all of a sudden these platforms have some issues with my MacBook here as well. But I wanted to say our 77-cent barrier was, of course, our major, I guess, turning point. And it kind of turns out that over the last 2 days, that over on Bybit, it's a little bit different than TradingView. Our major And again, guys, I always shout this out in my videos. 77.777 cents, whatever, is the most important point for XRP, and it's going to stay that way for a long time. We talked about it when it was resisting there, basically. It just dipped right back there before bouncing back up. Let me know down below if you actually took this really juicy and almost perfect trade. Also, it's been nearing all the levels here for a very, very good while. Again, what we're doing is trying to accurately put in these charts what the most important support and resistances are. We're doing a very good job because that way you can potentially snack up a little bit of profit while you're basically buying a little bit above one of these points and selling a little bit below them, or actually just get yourself a good entry and understand where a confirmed little bullish case has basically started itself. You can see as well, if we actually relate it back to the S&P, the Bitcoin and XRP thing, they kind of move in unison. But right now, I guess it looks as if the S&P has pushed Bitcoin to also go that way. Because when the S&P was also doing negative, right now, Bitcoin is also doing so. So it looks again like we have a 1-to-1 correlation, which is not amazing. But as the majority of the news that we're seeing right now is actually quite positive. For example, the whole Russia stuff. Yeah, it could be a good situation right now, guys. I'm pretty bullish on this. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure that you press that like button. And also, I guess let's get to 1,000 likes on this video. I'm not sure it's going to be possible, but let's try it out. And a couple of y'all said try some shorter videos. A couple of y'all said try longer videos, but just one of them. It's pretty difficult to find a good balance. So I've just been posting every single time. I really think you guys need an update on some of this stuff. And this stuff is so important. I thought I should get one out to y'all as well. But just comment down below as well what type of crypto you'd like to see an update on next. As I have so many plans, so many ideas, but I need you guys' feedback on what exactly y'all would want to see. Having said that, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And adios, amigos.